All right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday Morning Mastermind. I'm so glad that you're here. We have a special treat for you. My good friend Katherine Clement is going to do some special energy work for us today. But before we get going, I want to make sure that everybody is on the right page and that we can see each other and comments or all that kind of thing. Anyway. So go to SaturdayMorningMastermind.com. That's going to bring you over to our website where we'll have our live broadcast page. And at the bottom, there is a space there. I put a different commenting system on this page because I could for whatever reason. And so we can test that out. But I did notice in there, it's like a Facebook commenting system, and then up at the, what is it, the right-hand side when you're looking at the page, above the comments, there's like a little menu where you can choose oldest, newest, most popular, or something like that. So just click that and put newest comments, and then all the comments from everybody that comment will show up right there at the top of the comment. So hopefully that's clear. But let us know you're hanging out with us on the page. Let us know if you're ready to receive your abundance healing session today. And so I'm just going to go ahead and turn this over to Katherine Clement. In the meantime, you guys go ahead and comment on the page. And if you have any questions as we go along, you can go ahead and post those down there. And then if Katherine doesn't get to them right at the beginning, then we'll do some questions at the end. So, Katherine, go ahead, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming this morning. It really is my honor and my pleasure to do this work for you and give you this gift, and thank you to my fellow masterminders for being here with me this morning. I really appreciate that. I do want to start off just by a little bit of what this is and what this isn't, because some of you may have had energy work before and some of you may not have. So there's a lot of kind of wooey terms that we use sometimes, and that can scare people off. But to be just, really frank and honest about it, it's really no different, I don't think, than just praying, really. Other than, I mean, there are other things going on, but just to simplify it, it's just working with Creator, with God, Spirit, whatever you choose to call that magnificent thing that is nothing but unconditional love. It's just working with them and helping people in their lives. And sometimes it can help physical things, sometimes emotional things, sometimes things, finances, abundance. I call this an abundance reboot, and certainly we are going to work around money today, but we're working around abundance in general. It's not, we're talking about having all those things that we love and need in our life, not just money, because money's a great tool, and there's a lot of people, whether they're spiritual or religious or whatever, they have some hang-ups about money. And if you believe in reincarnation, maybe you've had past lives with maybe you were a monk or something, and you took a vow of poverty or something. There's a lot. I'm so glad this is coming right when we're reading this book, because the book that we're reading in this group is about the mystery, and this is very much about the mystery. This is something I've experienced my whole life since childhood, but I don't understand it. I'll just be honest with you. I just don't understand half the stuff. I just know that changes happen, and it's not me. That's what I know for truth, is that changes happen, and it's not me doing it. I feel energy in my body, and I see energy with my eyes, and so I can see things changing, but I'm not in control of it. That's up to God. I'm not the healer. I'm just sort of the channel that the energy flows through. And you don't have to have a channel. That energy can flow straight through to you anytime you want. But some people are just more used to working with the energy than other people. That's all. If you feel something in your body happening while I'm doing this, don't let that scare you, because you may feel energy and not even be aware of it. So you may feel things in your body, you may not. If you don't feel anything, that's okay. You know, not everybody feels energy. So it doesn't mean that it's not working or anything like that. It's just that we all are different, thank goodness, because I'd get really bored if we weren't. So what it is a gift from God, and what it's not is me doing the healing. And just, if you're just open in your heart to receiving this, you know, you can just silently say, yes, I want to receive this, or, you know, please give me this, or whatever you want to say. You know, just be open in your heart, and keep some water nearby. You might even want to have a blanket, because sometimes people get very cold while we're doing this energy, and that is because we're actually raising the vibration, raising the frequency, and as we do that, we sort of can go out of body a little bit, and our bodies just get really cold. So just breathe. Remember, keep breathing through it, and you don't have to focus on anything. The great thing about this kind of work, it's very, it can be very, very fast. I'm not in control of how long or how slow these activations go. When I ask for the activation to come through, I feel it, and when I stop feeling it, I know that it's time to stop, or when my guides tell me to stop. They also can throw in information sometimes, not always, and they also direct me on what activations are needed for the group that I'm working with. So although I've given you a outline of the ones that I intend to do, that doesn't mean that won't change in the middle of it. So we're gonna make sure you get those 6, but don't be surprised if something else gets thrown in, because that often happens. Sometimes they can take minutes. Sometimes they can take, you know, 15, 20 minutes a piece. It just depends on how much is being cleared while we're doing it. So while I'm doing it, normally when I do these, I'm very silent during the process, and that's just allowing whatever, so that each individual can have their own experience. Today, I'm going to be silent for much of it, but I'm also going to do a little bit of guided meditation, just because it would be super boring for you guys just to sit here and watch me yawn on camera, because I typically sometimes I start yawning when I'm doing this work. So if I put my picture up on the screen, you'll know that I'm yawning. I normally do these on teleseminars, so nobody can see me. But if I mute out or put my picture up, that's what's going on. But all you have to do is receive. That's all you guys have to do. That's the big thing. Now, the biggest thing is that you should not be driving or operating machinery or anything while you're listening to this, because it can alter your state of consciousness. I'm not a hypnotist. I don't know. I mean, I've been hypnotized before, so I kind of, you know what they do, but that's not what I do. But as the frequency rises, sometimes it can just knock people out. I've had people go to sleep within seconds sometimes. So don't drive your car while you're listening to this. Just wait until you're at home with your blanket and your water and relax. And you can play this over and over. It's being recorded, so it's always good to do these activations 3 times, at least 3 times actually, because things release in layers. I guess it's like, you know, you don't go to 12th grade first, you go to 1st grade. So things happen in layers like that, you know, and it can happen sometimes really fast. If you get a little bit emotional over the next few days, or sometimes even weeks and months, you know, it's just let those things come and go. Just remember, oh, I did that work. This is just something that's being released, and just let it go. It's, but don't be surprised if you're a little sleepy afterwards, might want to take a nap. That's good. Do that. You know, it just helps. Matter of fact, if you can do something sort of calm and not just when you leave today, not just jump right into your chaos, you know, just let it assimilate a little bit, that would be really good. And if there's anything in particular that you want to work on, please write it in the comments. We're going to be reading the comments and questions at the end. Dan, are you going to be on comments for me today? All right. Hi, Jason. You popped in there. I have to look this way for the camera, so I didn't see you come in. I'm so glad you're here this morning. We're going to get started here in just a minute. So the first thing we're going to do is just take a couple breaths. Let me tell you the list that I think we're going to do. We'll see if anything gets added. We're going to do release, ultimate release of oaths, vows, commitments, contracts. What this is, sometimes, you know, our family, we don't have much money in the family, maybe generation after generation our family's been poor, and we kind of bond in some of those things. And sometimes as we start our entrepreneurial lives, you know, and we start building our business, if it can actually block us from building our business and making money, because we sort of feel like, oh, I can't make more money than my mom and dad or whoever, because then they're not going to like me. And the reason we think those things is because of another activation we're going to do a little bit further down, which is money is dirty and rich people suck. It's so funny the way Tamara named these things, but it's really true. You know, if we grow up in these poor families, we're often told, oh, rich people are evil, or, you know, money is the root of all evil, or rich people are so greedy, they only think about themselves, you know. And we get these non-serving beliefs stuck in our head. In Saturday Morning Mastermind, we work on these things through self-talk and through different techniques that we find in these books. And that's sort of what this does. You know, you're releasing these non-serving beliefs, because that's not true. You know, not all rich people suck. I'm sure there's some rich people that suck out there, but not all of them. And money certainly doesn't, because money is an amazing tool to help transform the world, actually. You know, if everybody had enough money, there'd be a lot less hatred going on everywhere, because often that comes from feeling that lack and not enough, and people get in survival mode, and then they can just basically say, well, I have to survive, and so that they can do whatever they want, their actions. So if everybody had enough money and had enough abundance, I think we'd see a lot more happy faces around. We're also going to do fear of my own power. Many of us, we're just afraid to step out there, quite honestly. You know, we always talk about getting out of your comfort zone, and this is about that. This is about, you know, I think we all know internally how amazing we are, but it scares us, you know, because what if I step out and it's not accepted or whatever? We have these feelings of we might be rejected, or, you know, people will laugh at us if we fail or whatever. So fear of my own power is about being who you really are, not who you're pretending to be, you know, this little small self, because we are all amazing beings. And the things that we can do when we put our mind to it is just incredible. And the things that we can stop ourselves from doing by having the wrong mindset. What's that quote? Something about doubt. Doubt has blocked. Oh, never mind. I can't remember it right now. I'll remember it later. Doubt has caused more failure than. Anyway, okay. So, creative gene. We're going to do Creative Gene. This is funny that I bring this one up right now, because this one is about tapping into that huge mastermind that's out there. You know, we are energetic beings, and we can pick up on energy and information from the ethers. I can't tell you the number of times that I've been trying to do something and I've just been like banging my head virtually because I can't figure it out. Like, this little mind can't figure it out. But if I just breathe and relax and ask, you know, ask and ye shall receive. Those are literal, those words are real. Ask and you shall receive. If, you know, I've asked the universe or God, help me do this, you know, what I need to know how to do this, and suddenly, like, I have this information. Or I'll see a bird that I've never seen before, and I'll say, oh, I've never seen that, I wonder what kind of bird that is, and then the name just comes, you know. I mean, we can pick up on, well, if you've ever heard about that island in Japan, the 100th monkey syndrome, where the monkey starts washing his sweet potato in the water, and then the other monkeys start, and then monkeys on another island start. We're all really connected. You know, this thing that we say we are one, that's a true thing. We are one. We're very connected energetically. And so Creative Gene turns that back on for you, so that you have access to everything that you need. That's really part of abundance, is having access to the information you need as well, because that's what will drive you to the other parts of abundance. So then we're going to do Sacred Blueprint. And you know, we all came here for a reason. We all are here with purpose in these lives. And I believe that before we come into these bodies, we make an agreement about what we're going to experience, you know, who we're going to experience it with. All of these things, I believe, is we agree to before we come here. It doesn't make much sense if you've had a hard time in this life. And I can tell you there's parts of my life that I would say, oh my goodness, I can't believe I chose that. But I do believe I chose that. I really do. And we know what we come here to do, but then when we come into our bodies, we get sort of cloaked. And we lose our memory. We don't remember those contracts. And so this one is about turning all that back on, helping you remember why you came, helping you find your unique purpose for being here. Now, I want to say, because people tend to place their worth on what they can do. So I want you to know that just being you, just being the vibration of you, and sharing your light and your vibration with the world is enough. Okay, you don't have to do all these amazing feats, but this will help you remember what you came here to do, and put the things in your life that will help you step forward into that. I don't think it's set in stone. You know, there is free will, so I don't think it's all set in stone. And I think we have to be open to things not being exactly as we expected them to be, and letting go of our expectations around some things. It's interesting because many of the books that we read in this group say that you need to be very, very specific when you're envisioning things that you're trying to manifest. And obviously it works, you know, because they have lots of people that it works for. With me, I find I have to be a little more open. I have to give the universe a little bit of play, because I get these expectations in my head. I need this to come from here, and it doesn't always come from there. It might come from over here or over here. So I find that I just have to be open, and in this blueprint activation, I just like to warn people that maybe what you're working on right now isn't in the blueprint, you know. I mean, it's obviously in the blueprint because you're doing it, but maybe that's not the end all. So just be open to all the different possibilities of what Creator can bring into your life through this activation. And then the last one, or maybe the last one, we'll see, is get in the vortex of abundance. So like I said, this is not just about money, but money is a big part of it. I want people to make friends with money. You know, money is not evil, it's not horrible, it's an amazing tool. Can you imagine what money must feel like? You know, people, money's evil, money's bad. I mean, it's trees. I wish they would grow it out of hemp or something instead of trees, but it really does. Money grows on trees, and it's an energy. It wants to be circulated. It wants to help people. It doesn't want to just sit in a bank account all the time. You know, it wants to move between people, and it enjoys what it can bring and the changes that it can make in people's lives. So you need to make friends with money. And but this vortex, this is like this swirling, you can picture in your head if you want to, just this swirling tornado sort of thing with everything that you want and need in it. It's all there, and at any time all you have to do is just reach up and grab what you want. You know, this is all the love, all the peace, all the happiness, the material things. Don't feel bad for asking for what you want or need. God wants you to be abundant. I mean, that is clearly stated. I'm not a Bible scholar, but I have heard many times other people quote things from the Bible, and that is clearly stated in there as well, that God wants us to be abundant. You know, we're not here just to suffer, and we're actually, I believe that all of us are here just to bring this light and this vibration of love into the world, you know, in all circumstances. It's not always easy, but I think that's what we're here to do, is just light things up. So that's plenty of talking now. 8:23. So like I said, I'll do a little talking while I'm doing it, but a lot of the time I'll be silent. And if I get any information to bring through for the group, I'll certainly share that. Now, did anyone have questions before I get started? Are there any questions in the comments, or do any of you on the panel have questions?
There aren't any comments right now.
Okay. All right. All right, good. So like I said, we're going to start with a few deep breaths. I'll tell you I'm going into the activations. As I do these, I'm doing them not just for your current experience, but past, future lives. It's really sort of concurrent. I mean, we think of it in a time, linear time, but it's really not. So we're just going to be working through your whole timeline. And also we'll be clearing things for generations before you and after you. And we'll be clearing things for the entire collective consciousness. The sacred activation work that I do is really working a lot with the collective consciousness. So we're going to be clearing a lot of stuff. And if you do feel energy, I'll just warn you, this is really strong. So you'll enjoy it. So ultimate release of oaths, vows, contracts. If you know you've made some of these, then you can focus on those, but you don't have to. Just be open to releasing all of these things that we've agreed to, either in this life or another, where we've taken vows of poverty or blood oaths. We have really no idea what we've vowed to and oathed to. But we're just going to release all those now. We'll take a few deep breaths to start. The energy's already been running before we started, but here we go. And if you're ready to release all these things, just silently say yes. And we just ask that anything that's we've agreed to that's blocking us from accessing all of our abundance in this experience, we just release all those now. And there's some resistance. This is not going to release any good, if you've really wholeheartedly agreed to something, and you're like, oh no, I don't want to release that, it's not going to release that. It's just releasing the non-serving ones. So just breathe. There we go. So anything that we've agreed to, knowingly or unknowingly. And any blocking that we are doing with our own negative self-talk, please help us recognize that and correct it quickly so that we're not constantly programming ourselves for lack. Oh. Hmm. They're saying people are programming themselves for debt, like they look at their debt and they just say, oh, I'm never going to get out of this, I'm just always going to be under this. So they're saying just be open to possibilities. Yeah, and just be open to possibilities that things may come from other places. That's not, sorry. They're saying sometimes what they say is it's an untruth. They're saying it's not true. Untruth doesn't make sense. But that's one of those thoughts. Vanish. Sometimes the guides are funny. They're reminding about Jesus being, I guess it was Jesus, I'm sorry, I'm not a Bible scholar, being able to feed multitudes of people with just a loaf of bread or some water or something. Um, that little bit uh, can be enough for the multitudes. Um, to pay attention to the guidance you get, the ideas that you get, and take action on those, because even one small idea can provide a great abundance. Again, clearing for generations past and future, and also for the collective consciousness, for everyone who has made these oaths, vows, and contracts. Let's just clear all that. This is only going to clear what people are open to releasing. This does not go against free will. Good. Okay, good. We're going to move into the next one now. Fear of my own power. Ooh, gosh, that just jumped it up. Excuse me. Fear of my own power. All right. So this one, we are so tremendously powerful. We are spirit, and we have so much more power than what we know. Not to say that we are the all-powerful everything. No, not at all. But we have so much more in us than we know that we are capable of. So let's just release anything that is keeping us from seeing how amazing we are. Any of that negative self-talk that we run in our head that keeps us small. Let's release any time anybody has ever said anything to us that has made us feel less than or not enough. And let us just feel in our hearts just how incredible each and every one of us are. Let us recognize that in other people as well as ourselves. Let us release any non-serving beliefs that we're afraid, you know, if we step into our power and things start going well in our life, let's release any thoughts that, oh, everything's going to go good, but then, bam, it's going to come falling down because my pride, let's release that. We don't need to be prideful, but we can be proud of who we are. There's a difference. Good. Let's release any of those non-serving voices that tell you to keep your place. Better seen than heard. These are all things that keep us small. Let's release any non-serving beliefs where it's stopping us, where we feel like, well, I really love to do this, but I can't do that for a living. That's not true. Let's release that. Let's ask Creator to show us where our power is and give us the strength and courage to step into that. Knowing that we are fully supported, that is what we came here to do. And even though we're scared, God's got our back. We're going to be given everything that we need to bring that dream to fruition. So oftentimes my guides speak to me in song, and I'm hearing that song, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I don't know the words, but that's all I'm hearing. So let it shine. And we're also activating this for generations before and after, lifetimes before and after, throughout your entire timeline, and the collective consciousness who very much squelches their light. Let's envision tiny pinpoints of light all around the globe being interconnected. If you've ever seen the flower of life, or if your soul knows that symbol, and it does, let's imagine that encircling the earth and all those points of light being us, being connected, interconnected, like this amazing golden grid. And let's see us all turning our lights on, sort of like a Christmas tree lit up now. And just glowing as brightly as we can. And seeing that light expand out into the multiverse. And remember to breathe. Good. Let's move into money is dirty and rich people suck. Oh my goodness. We've all been taught so many things about money and wealth and riches, and not all of that has come from God. It's come from humans and their fears. So let's just release all of those non-serving beliefs concerning money. We can really block ourselves if we think that money is evil or rich people suck, they're horrible, then we're not going to make money in our businesses. So let's just release all of those non-serving beliefs now. And there are other lifetimes where we have all been extremely prosperous. Maybe we misused the money. Maybe we misused the power that we had. So now let's release anything like that where we might have abused money, abused our power. Let's clear that throughout our entire timeline. Let's, Creator, please show us how amazing money can be and just the immense changes it can make in people's lives. Even a little bit of extra money can make such a huge difference in people's lives. So God, we ask you to just show us how many people we have the ability to touch by just being open to circulating money. And truly what a difference, please show us truly what a difference it can make in the world and how much peace it can bring into our experiences by not having these judgments and by being open to having money and let it flow. Sometimes we start getting a little money and then we start getting very protective over that money, and we're like, oh, but I have to hang on to this now because I've never had money before and something's going to happen and take this money away. So please let us release anything like that that would make us hold on tightly, because we all know that the more tightly we hold on to something, the more resistance is involved. So money is simply an energy to help us, help other people, and we need to just let it come in and out of our life easily. Don't spend it, circulate it. Ooh, interesting. We're going to clear any sorry, sometimes I need clarification. Hold on. Any lifetimes where have been affluent and people like cursed us for that, that is energy. Curses are energy directed negatively. So we're clearing any any energy that's been directed at us when we were profitable by others or by ourselves, but that was coming from others. I heard that money, 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 money. Money. I can't sing, so I won't sing it. Oh, and okay, and literally clearing that money is dirty. Like some people are evidently afraid that money, like the germ factor physically of touching money, that it's dirty, and they don't. I can't imagine it, but they just don't like to touch cash. Um, I have found it helpful myself to have cash around. Like for many years, I went to just having my plastic card in my pocket, but I find if you keep actual cash around, that it multiplies. So remembering that money is not dirty, it's amazing, and don't be afraid to touch it. Also clearing the whole timeline and the collective consciousness. This is a huge collective consciousness around this. Huge. Many people believe that only the few chosen people, the top 1% or whatever, can have wealth, and that's why that is what we experience in our reality. If you look at statistics, it's just very small percentage of people that are wealthy, and that's why, because of this collective consciousness of poverty and lack. So let's clear that now, please. And let's go ahead and bring in any of those lifetimes where we were affluent. Let's bring that energy, that feeling of abundance into this current experience now, so that we always, yes, thank you, so that we always feel abundant, and like there's always enough, there's always more than enough. We have multiple streams coming to us. So if one thing isn't working, we have it coming to us from another stream, and we always have this feeling of just knowing that there is always more than enough. Good. And I don't know if you can feel, as we start these activations, I don't know if you can feel the resistance a little bit. I feel, usually I feel some resistance, and then as we stay in this energy, the end, the heart, you can just feel things ease. You feel the resistance lessening. And if you don't you know, if you are feeling some resistance, just love yourself through that. It's okay. It's just fear of the unknown. So let's just release that. Know that this is God's work. This is not anything to be afraid of. Or this is just beautiful, unconditional love coming in and erasing all of this negative junk we've clogged ourselves up with. It's like peeling the layers of an onion, you know? And now let's bring in just that feeling of complete gratitude for sometimes we feel unabundant because we are not recognizing and being grateful for all of the amazing uh, treasures that we all have in our lives. I cannot believe there are people in this world that are in so much poverty, so much lack, and most of us that are listening to this are so incredibly blessed. We have clean water, we have, you know, most of us have a roof over our head, we have electricity if we're listening to this, we have internet, we are just incredibly blessed, and we take it all for granted. So let us bring in that feeling of gratitude, because gratitude will increase your abundance. Gratitude for every little blessing in our lives. We are so amazingly abundant, and we just don't recognize it. So let's recognize how abundant we really are. Just breathe that through your heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Abundance of health, abundance of happiness, abundance of having so many amazing friends. Abundance of being so connected to the Creator, our personal relationships. Thank you. Thank you for the hard times too. That's where so much of our growth comes from. We always want to shut that part out, but that is really where we connect to God, is through those hard times. So thank you for those too. Help us to understand why these things happen. Help us to see the lessons. Thank you. Okay. Let's go into Creative Gene. Let me see what time it is. Oh my goodness. It's almost the hour now. I told you guys I have no control over how long these go. We've been in a time warp, but we're still going to carry on. You can, if you can't stay, that's okay. I'm going to carry on here. Creative Gene. Let us remember, let's combine Creative Gene and Sacred Blueprint. Let us connect into why we're here and connect into all that information that we need from the ethers. Let's bring that in now. Let us see what we're here for. Give us this vision, give us this dream, and give us the strength to step into our power and bring this dream into fruition. Whatever it is, big or small. That's beautiful. Maybe we'll dream of it, maybe like it during our sleep, or maybe we'll have a vision, an idea will pop into our head. Maybe we'll remember something that long, long ago we realized that was the one thing we wanted to do that would bring more joy to our hearts. Things that we do that bring joy to our hearts do more for this world than anything we could do physically. So show us what it is that makes our heart sing, and give us the strength and the finances and the circumstances and the people. Bring us all those things. Let's bring it together so that we can make this happen. Help us remember why we're here. Thank you. Yes, God's plan. Help us remember God's plan. It's our plan too. We're all in agreement. And now let's bring in that vortex of abundance. Let's bring that in now. See that just swirling. It might make you a little dizzy even. That's okay. Just breathe and just see that swirling. Everything that you need and want is right there. And at any moment, all you have to do is reach up and grab that what you need. Ask. You know, if you don't have a personal relationship with God, Creator, Spirit, if you don't feel worthy of that, or whatever these non-serving beliefs are, if you don't have that personal relationship, have it now. You know that you can ask for anything that you want or need as long as it's not harmful to someone. Just let Spirit guide you. Stop trying to think it all out in your mind. Just be open, and when you ask, you'll be amazed at, maybe the next email you open up is exactly what you've always dreamt of doing, or maybe it's something you've never heard of, and suddenly you're like, oh, that's it. So just be open to all these possibilities. Just jump into this vortex. If you're into it, just jump in there, and just, if you get dizzy, just sit down and ground yourself a little bit. But just let's let God show us, what we're capable of, and bring us all those circumstances that we need, and give us the courage to take action. We get ideas all the time. How many times have you gotten an idea and you think, oh, that's $1 million idea, and I'll always remember it, and then a few years later you remember it when you see somebody is selling it, or even a week later. That's that 100th monkey syndrome, I think. I think sometimes ideas are given to a group of us, and whoever acts first gets it. So you have to jump. And sometimes people hear their guides and they think it's just their own little voice talking to them, or they just don't believe it. So let us recognize when our guides are speaking with us. Or if we currently don't hear our guides but we want to, tell them that you want to communicate with them. You have to ask. We do have free will here. They can't just impose upon you. So you can make it known to God that you want to communicate, that you want to be guided and led, and you want to hear, you want to see. But don't be shocked if it actually happens. Don't let it scare you. I'm being told to bring in Christ consciousness. You may hear things, you may hear language like we're going from 3-dimensional to 5th-dimensional, lots of different religious beliefs talk about the coming of Christ. And I too believe in the coming of Christ, although I might think of it a little bit differently. I think of it as the coming of the Christ consciousness, bringing the Christ consciousness down into our reality, bringing heaven to earth. This is what we're doing when we're raising our vibration and when we're spending time in this complete unconditional love. That's exactly what we're doing. We're bringing that unconditional love of Christ, that heaven on earth, we're bringing it into our experience. So let's bring in Christ consciousness. Feel that love in your heart. Pure love, no judgment. Christ never judged. It's always about love and acceptance and forgiveness and gratitude and humbleness. So let us have all of those things. Let us just breathe that in and out of our heart for ourselves and for the multiverse. Beautiful. And now let us ground. And if you don't know what that means, I want you to visualize yourself as a tree and your roots are reaching down into the earth. And you're just feeling now Mother Earth's love. And just feeling the safety, feel her wrap her arms around you. Just feel the safety of that, or maybe you imagine yourself swimming in the ocean or laying on the beach and the warm sun is shining down on you. Feel that connection to Mother Earth. Mother Earth is an amazing creator. So just ground yourself now. But don't disconnect. Don't disconnect from that unconditional love. Keep that Christ consciousness. Bring that heaven to earth. It's not two separate places. Many of us feel like there's here and there's there, but it's not that way. It's all here. So you can stay connected to God and be completely grounded. Beautiful. And now let us give gratitude for this beautiful session. It's been my honor, and truly it is my honor to bring this work to you. And now I'd love to take questions. If anybody has any questions or any comments, or if you felt anything or didn't feel anything, I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm going to hush. Anybody? Or is everybody still out La La Land? Sometimes people get a little bit quiet after these things because they're just like, ooh. So if that's going on, that's okay. Just stay there. And, yeah, I can see Sandy's totally la-la'd.
Feel good. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Any comments other than that? I don't want to keep us. I know we're already after the hour, so I know people have to go. But
I want to thank you, Catherine, for all of this. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, not sure if what I felt, but it was very nice to take the time to focus on the things that you're speaking of, and make an effort to recognize them and also let go of anything that might pop up. So, I felt like that helped, even if I didn't feel like an energy through me or anything like that. I wasn't sure what to look for. So, but I think just spending the time to, to recognize and to release certain things and to kind of know, make a decision to know what to do with them. Um, I think that can really help. I really appreciate it, and I'm gonna continue to work on this stuff too, because I think I see the power in it. So thank you very much.
you're so welcome. And that, bringing it into our consciousness is part of it, just like the work that we do through the books and stuff. We bring things up into our consciousness, and once we see it, I mean, we don't have to dwell in it, we can just recognize it and release it. So that is part of it, is just bringing it to our attention. So that's beautiful. As far as feeling energy or not feeling energy, in my body it feels like, well, I get all sorts of sensations, but I get like this huge cascade of like champagne bubbles running through my body. Like I can almost feel like every cell in my body vibrating. It's very, I don't know really how to describe it where you could understand it, but it's just weird. It's part of the mystery. Anyone else?
I was going to jump out and say, for me, I've taken part of I didn't know this was the same type of thing I've taken part of in some things I've been involved in, some of the events I've gone to and things like that. But I got some, in a way, I guess, eye-opening things that helped give me a different perspective in how one area, because I feel I have a pretty good understanding of money, and that that it is a tool, that it is a way and a means of how to do things and stuff like that. But there were some phraseologies that you used and some things that you said during that period with dealing with money, and it kind of gave me a whole new look on it, rather than thinking of it as, yes, we all have it, it comes through us, we are the storehouse of it for a period or whatever. I'm now got a new sense of it's a circulation. It's something that comes through me. I might have it in my storehouse for a while until the appropriate time for it to circulate back out where it's supposed to go. And that's the powerful thing I think I got out of this. And then just wanting to reconnect with a lot of the, I think, buried creativity that I have in me. Because when I was younger, I was very, I like to, be like that. And then as I kind of got older, I kind of switched to my more analytical side of me that I operate on. And I'm wanting to connect back with that. And I think all that, along with everything else, just really helped open me up to a lot of things. Plus, it was semi-emotional for me, um, even thinking about it now. But I'm going to go back through it again because, like you said, it might take 1 or 2 times to really kind of get in and get the feeling and a sense of everything. So I intend on going back through the replay again and just sitting through it really on my own without everything else here and going deeper, I hope. So that's what I got from it.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it does bring up emotions. We don't realize how much we squelch ourselves. And we like to say, oh, well, my mom used to tell me this, or, my teacher said this. We like to blame it on other people, but you know what? It's really us. It's us. We have these amazing ideas, and we're like, oh, that's $1 million idea. And then the next thing we say to ourselves is, but I don't know how to do that. Instead of asking the universe, yes, that's an amazing idea. How can I do that? And then suddenly these pieces will start coming in for us. It's really incredible. It is so powerful. We have so much power. And I hate to use that word. I mean, that makes it sound like, I don't know, I just don't like that somehow. But it's true. It's, we're so amazing, and we squelch ourselves. We're the ones that squelch our light. So they were singing, let it shine, just be that brilliant light. Don't, like I have actually this invention that came to me years and years ago, like 30-some years ago, this invention came to me, and I have never brought it into fruition because I told myself, well, I'm not an engineer. I can't do the blueprint. I don't have the money to do. I told myself all these things that were untrue instead of asking how I could do it. So it can get emotional when we suddenly see how much we're blocking ourselves. So just keep replaying it. You can play it more than 3 times too. Some people play it like at night while they're sleeping, just like the affirmations and stuff that we talk about on the mastermind. Some people just play it in their sleep. That way their mind isn't awake and trying to figure it out. They're just like in that space where their spirit is open to things. So thank you so much for sharing that, and I would love to hear, as more things come to you, I'd love to hear it. So thank you for sharing. I'll hush again now. Anybody else?
I had something really just simple that kind of popped up for me when you were talking about keeping money around, actual cash. Oh, my screen is acting weird. Anyway, it came into my head. You know how a lot of people keep a jar and they put change in it, and I had a thought that to increase my abundance is instead, or in addition to my change jar, is that I would create like a dollar jar and put, anytime I have cash in my pocket, is to put maybe half of it, or or put whatever, $1 or 5 or 10 or 20 or whatever in there, maybe once a week or once every couple of days, or just whenever I see the jar, and just stick cash in there instead of just change, just to increase the abundance. I thought that was just something that popped into my head.
That's awesome. I never thought about that. Like, we all carry plastic, and people don't use cash anymore. But I don't know if you've ever heard the old wives' tale, like if you give somebody a wallet, you have to put money in there. There's something to that. I have, I guess you would call it an altar. I have a place in in my space where I have very sacred things, and one of the things that's on there is money. And I will tell you that I always keep at least a $20 bill there, but of course once in a while I need cash, and I have to go to that altar and get that cash. And it is, I just thought yesterday I'm going to start doing this all the time, because usually within the day that I take the $20 bill off the altar and use it for something, I get that money back like that day. So I was just telling myself yesterday, I need to take this money off here every day because it keeps coming back. Maybe I need to make it a $100 bill instead of a $20 bill. So I don't understand. It's vibration. Money, everything is a vibration. Everything. Money has a vibration. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with Emmanuel Dagger. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but he does some really cool energy work around money, and he teaches people, to actually just start building a relationship with money like it's your best friend or your lover even, romance money, but really connect to it and have it be your friend, and combine sacred blueprints. Like he says, money has a sacred blueprint of its own. Like it wants to go help all the people that need fresh water and food and all of these things. And so if you partner with money and combine your two goals, together and work together, that things will come about more easily. Because many of us, we just have these really piss poor attitudes about money. We do. We just are always thinking of it in lack terms. So, or that if we get too much of it, that we're going to turn into these people that we don't want to be. We've all seen money corrupt people. It doesn't have to. You can be the same loving, generous you and be filthy rich all at the same time.
We had a couple of people post on the page, Chris Camp and Sunder Ashney. Is that which is your first name? Because I thought I saw it listed in a couple of different places in different ways, whether it's Sunder or Ashney.
Ashley.
It's Ashney. Okay, so thank you, Ashney. But either way, I saw both of you post on the page that that you appreciated this. Thank you, and that it's helpful. So wonderful. And I did want to just kind of mention to everybody, in case you didn't see my post on the page, I will be also converting this to an audio, and so anybody who is on our list is going to get access to the audio recording of this, as well as the video will be on this page on our website permanently, but it will also be available on audio to those of you on our mailing list. So there's a little form at the top of our website page where you can get on our mailing list, or you can go to newsletter.saturdaymorningmastermind.com and get on our list. Do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about, Catherine, before we wrap up for today?
No, I just want to thank everyone for coming, and again, it's my pleasure to do this, and keep replaying it. Thank you for making that audio. That's awesome. And just keep replaying it, and you can get rid of all these beliefs. You really can. You can really turn yourself around, but a lot of it is, I ask that we would recognize when we're blocking ourselves, and I think you'll see that show up more often for you now. So thank you so much.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Catherine. And we look forward to everybody having a much more abundant and awesome and amazing life. And you know, we hope that you enjoyed this, or this, it's going to be a recording here in a moment. So thank you everybody for participating. And okay, so next week on the Saturday Morning Mastermind, we are taking a break. We're going to take Christmas weekend off. So then you can meet us back here again. Let's see, let me just make sure I have the right date. So Saturday, January 2nd is we will continue our study of Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Wayne Dyer, and we'll be on verse 2. And so I'll be creating a page for that here very shortly in the next, probably maybe tomorrow, and then it'll be available for discussion. So anyway, you can just find us again at SaturdayMorningMastermind.com. Otherwise, we'll see you on January 2nd, and in between now and then, have a happy, wonderful holidays, Merry Christmas, season's greeting, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Feliz Navidad. Have an awesome one. Bye, guys.